This cute dude. Like that bonnet. Wow.
Oh. 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 Hmm. Oh.
Damn, 120,000. Jeez Louise. What a nice lady. Ah, all my trees are full grown.
Hmm. Oh. 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 Oh.
And it's true, I got closer to God, but it wasn't a good idea to fast before a fucking championship fight. I'm not there.
How many days out from the fight were you fasting?
Well, so I got to Japan I think that Tuesday, and the fight was that Sunday. So I think I broke my fast. So I think it was like 4 days before the fight when I ended my fast. But I think I fasted for 3 or 4 days.
Whoa.
Yeah, I never did that.
And
shit.
you were training while you were fasting?
Yeah,
How bad was that?
bro, I was in another place. It was the weirdest thing. I didn't have to cut weight. That's my first time I had to cut weight for my fight. So
Wow.
I thought that was a good thing. But I thought I was doing good. I was winning the fight. Then I got knocked the fuck out. And I try to cop it up to me fasting. That's my excuse, I think.
Well, it certainly would have drained your body to not eat for 3 days. I mean, if you're going for a performance, I mean, they say it's healthy for your body every now and then to take a few days off and not consume any food, but not before a fight.
Not before a fight, yeah.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even say before camp. I would say make it like you're out. Like you got time.
Yeah. I be trying to fast now for health reasons, and I can't even get past 2 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't do it.
Do you eat a lot of carbohydrates?
No, I cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Remember, I got super fat. Especially my last fight with Fedor. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I got super fat. I got misdiagnosed with hypothyroid.
Mm-hmm.
And they had me on this fucking medicine and shit, and that shit fucked me up. And I started training with this crazy social media guy. His name's Sean Rez. He's been my friend for years. I met him from one of my other friends, and I used to always see him. We used to kick it and party and stuff like that. Go out drinking, and we end up at his house with girls and stuff and hang out. And he was always ripped, like a Persian guy, but he looked like a fucking Viking, right? So one day I asked the guy, like, man, how in the fuck you stay ripped like that all year round? He told me, he said, man, this is what I do. I said, you on that shit, ain't you? He said, no, I ain't on shit. And he said, I do 2 hours of cardio. He works out like 2 or 3 times a day, and he don't eat carbs.
How often? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's my trainer. That's my coach, man. He changed my fucking life, bro.
Damn.
And
That dude looks good.
I lost 30 pounds training with him.
And so he does 2 hours of cardio. How often a week?
This motherfucker train like 6-7 days a week.
So he does two hours of cardio every day.
Well, now I think he dropped it down to an hour now. But when I asked him, he was doing 2 hours of Stairmaster, and so I did it with him, right? This motherfucker is on like level 13. I'm over there on level 4, like fucking dying. He's on level 13 for like fucking an hour straight.
Damn.
He's the strongest mind I ever fucking met.
Really?
Yeah, he changed my life. He don't take no shit. You know, I be trying to get out of shit. I'm like, no, you meet me at the gym at this motherfucker time. He don't give a fuck. But he changed my life and changed my diet. So now I don't know if it's like a carnivore diet, but I eat.
Did I not water this?
But I mostly eat steak every day and
Yeah, so like more of like what would they call that? Paleo diet.
Yeah, I don't. I just
Yeah.
eat what he tell me.
I think there's a lot of people that feel like the real problem that people have is with grains.
Yeah.
Grains, carbohydrates that come from bread, pasta, that kind of shit, rice.
Yeah,
And if you can cut all that out and just eat meat and vegetables, you'll be way better off.
bro. I've learned by traveling where I went to Colombia to get stem cells, and I stayed there for like 8 days, and I lose weight and I eat whatever the fuck I want, and I lose weight there. I could eat pasta, bread, whatever there, and I lost like 15 pounds in 8 days over there getting bioaccelerator.
Yeah.
Getting stem cells. And at first I thought it was the stem cells, but one time I went there and I just went to hang out. I didn't get stem cells. Still lost 15 pounds. The food, American food is bad, bro.
Terrible. Terrible. Just filled with preservatives and bullshit and seed oils and corn syrup and just shit.
Why they doing us like that, man?
Because they make money. They don't give a fuck. It's the same thing as why they overprescribe medications. Same thing why they send us off to war. They don't give a fuck. When you allow people to make as much money as they possibly can, they do almost every time, especially Americans. Almost every time they sacrifice people for money.
Yeah, I figured that's what it all boils down to money, but there's other ways to make money off us.
Yeah, but they started this shit in the 1960s, man. They bribed sugar scientists. It was the 60s, right? Wasn't it when they did that? 50s? They bribed sugar scientists. They bribed scientists, rather, to say that sugar is good for you and saturated fats are bad for you. They tried to say that all these people having heart attacks and all the cardiovascular issues that people have, that this is actually because of saturated fat, which is just not true.
You're right, 60s and 70s.
1960s, the sugar industry paid scientists to downplay the link between sugar and heart disease instead promote saturated fat as the culprit. Sugar Research Foundation, now known as the Sugar Association, funded the research that reviewed the scientific literature and set the review's objective. Sugar Research Foundation also provided materials for review and examined drafts before publication. Yeah, it was all bullshit. And fat is good for you. Fat is healthy for you, especially saturated fat. What? What are you saying? Yeah, fat from meat is really good for you.
Makes sense.
Yeah, of course it makes sense. It's what human beings have been eating forever. It's what most indigenous tribes, that's what they try to get. They try to get fat. They try to get meat and fat. That's why people like Inuits, before American food and alcohol and cigarettes started making its way to like the Inuit tribes, they had very low instances of heart disease. And they eat nothing but fat. They're eating fat all the time. They're eating whale blubber and all kinds of shit like that, and seal.
It seems like it's just more natural. That's what.
It's normal. It's food. It's real food. That's the stuff that you're for. Like when people say that margarine is good for you, margarine is fucking terrible for you. I can't believe it's not butter, bitch. I can believe it. Doesn't taste anything like butter. It doesn't taste. It's like got a buttery texture. It's fucking terrible. It's a big tub of seed oil. That shit's awful for you. There's also like there's a lot of people that try to link the consumption of seed oils and margarine and shit like that to Alzheimer's. That's when people started getting Alzheimer's disease. And they started using that stuff instead of butter and margarine. Butter and fat.
I remember hearing that it was from deodorant, antiperspirant. That's not true.
That's gotta be bad for you too.
That scared me because I don't want to be funky though. But then
Yeah.
I don't want to be like mindless. Like
You
when I
can
get
use there's deodorants that don't have aluminum in it. I use a Tom's of Maine deodorant, but there's a bunch of other ones. There's another one that I use. God, I can't. Native's real good. I'll use that, but I use deodorant.
I tried it because my son is a hippie and he tried to get me into all this shit and I tried it. But
You have a hippie for a son? That's
yeah,
funny.
my son Roger, he's the one that was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking hippie, bro.
In what way?
Shit, it's just like hippies, bro.
All natural stuff.
He's like he went for like mushrooms.
Mushrooms are good for you.
Well,
Talk to Rashad about that.
I know I did.
Rashad is one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever talked to when it comes to like mushroom supplements, like reishi and lion's mane and all that stuff. He takes all those.
That's the healthy stuff, but he like the mushrooms that make you trip and shit.
He likes those too. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it changed him into a totally different person. He's a different guy.
Totally different guy.
He's this sweet, like at peace, calm guy. I think he's vegan now too.
He's a vegetarian.
Vegetarian? He eats pussy and vegetables.
Well, I can't knock on that because I'm a vegetarian myself. No, No, he's a vegetarian. I saw him not too long ago. You know, him and I talking about doing a boxing match against each other in November.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're trying to get that going.
What is going on with you and Shannon McKenna?
Bro, this motherfucker called me out. As soon as I got knocked out by Fedor, he called me out. And he said he was going to promote the fight. MMA guys, we're not promoting.
Wasn't it before that?
No, I don't remember.
You guys weren't jawing at each other before that?
No, I remember after that.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah. And then we were supposed to fight, and we finally had a show. We was going to do it in Qatar. But the guys that putting on, they ended up to be fucking scam artists.
Oh.
And I was trusting them. I really liked the guys. They was cool people, but fast talkers. And like 2 months before I pulled out, Shannon was like, man, he was like, man, these guys are scammers, bro. I'm like, man, you brought these motherfuckers to me. He said, yeah, but I don't trust them no more. They're scammers. So I was like, man, there go this fucker. I was waiting to fight him.
But I heard there's talk again.
He's still trying, but I lost my faith in Shannon. I don't know if he's going to get it done. He talks a good game. I hope he get it done. If he ever gets it done, I'll be game to fight him. But right now, you know, I guess my first boxing match is going to be against Rashad. I need to get that win back.
And where is that going to be at?
They were talking about it in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For what organization?
I'm not sure, but he said it was going to be under the ONE FC banner. That's what he
Really?
Yeah, that's what he's telling me. I'm waiting for my
Interesting.
manager to talk to him.
Oh, interesting. ONE FC. ONE FC does everything.
Yeah.
That's an interesting organization
Yeah.
because they'll have an event with grappling, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA.
I like that.
I love it.
I like that fight that Mighty Mouse did with that Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
That was
Rod
interesting.
Tang. That was very interesting.
His name is Raw Tang.
Rod Tang.
Oh, okay.
Rod Tang. Yeah. He's a wild dude.
He's tough, huh? I see his clips on TikTok all the
Bro,
time.
he's dangerous. Takes a crazy shot too. He's got an iron chin.
Yeah. He just
Yeah. Yeah, let's guys hit him. Come on, motherfucker, hit me. And
That's crazy.
he kicks so fucking hard too.
But I guess those
Oh.
little guys, they can do that though. They can let people hit them.
Some people you can't let Crazy Horse hit you. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like different people.
Yeah. I
You
guess.
like Poetan. Like when you see Pereira, there's not a fucking person in the world that can get hit by that guy.
No, I wouldn't let no big guy. If I was not a 205. 205.
Did you watch Joe Pfeiffer fight at 85?
Who?
Joe Pfeiffer.
He's on 303.
Yeah.
No.
He was the featured prelim of the undercard. He's one of the hardest fucking punchers ever.
I got to the fight late. I watched it when that girl got that cut. That was my
Yeah.
first fight. He was
Okay.
before that.
He was before that, I believe. Yeah, because Myro Bueno Silva was in the main card on pay-per-view, and Macy Chasson. This is Joe Pfeiffer.
Which one? With the white shorts?
Yeah. This motherfucker can crack.
Oh my God! What weight class is that?
85, and he's huge.
Yeah, 85. That
He's
big guy.
huge, but he don't look 85. I mean, he weighs 85 for about 5 minutes. That fucking dude's huge.
Is it 85?
Yes.
I met him for the first time in Saudi Arabia, and that guy was big as fuck. I was surprised when I saw him. He's like taller.
He's tall as fuck. Yeah. Tall and long, you know? And the dude he's fighting, Drekus Duplessis, that's another guy. Like, how the fuck do you weigh 85? I stand next to that guy. I'm like, how the fuck are you 185 pounds?
They must be cutting from like 230.
Oh, he's cutting from a lot. He looks like a heavyweight. When you stand next to Drekus, he's a big, wide motherfucker. He's thick.
What's the weight class now in the UFC? What's the it weight class? When I was there, it was 205.
It's probably 205 right now, but the problem is Pereira is cleaned out the division. There's only Ankalaev, who's very good. That's a good fight, but a lot of people don't know who he is. It's not like a big name fight. Yuri Prohaska is a big name.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is. Got that crazy look with the bun, the samurai bun. He shaved that shit off after the fight, though.
Did he?
He's like, what the fuck am I doing here with this thing?
Yeah, it did look kind of stupid though.
Well, it looked crazy when he got hit. It bobbles around.
Yeah, because the way he tapes it up and shit. Why you gotta tape it up? It's in the back of your. It's not gonna get in your. It's not gonna get in your face, right?
I don't think you should be allowed to have that because I think that gets in the way of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to secure a choke, you're trying to go over the top of the head. There's like a thing there.
Yeah.
Like it might get, and it might for a split second might keep you from clasping your hands together. For a split second, it might keep him from getting out of something.
Yeah.
It's in the way.
Yeah. Just braid it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Just
you're
braid
gonna
it.
don't put tape. I don't understand
I
that.
think he wants to be like a samurai. That's crazy.
okay.
Thinks of himself as a Czech samurai.
Oh, he's Czech.
Yeah.
I didn't know where the fuck he was from.
He's a wild dude. And he hits hard as fuck. But that's not good enough when you're fighting a guy that's that skilled.
Bro, fighting Alex, I didn't like the way he had his hands down. You don't fight a guy like Alex with your hands that low.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while to get him up.
Yeah. Well, he likes to fight that way because he lures people in exchanges, and he hits so hard, and it works on everybody else. It worked on Rockich. It works on Dominic Reyes. Everybody else, you don't want that guy standing in front of you,
Yeah.
you know, because he lures you into exchanges, and he's willing to take a shot to give a shot, and his punches are so hard. But you can't do that with Pereira because Pereira's
Right.
a better kickboxer, hits harder, he's huge, and he's just too slick. Like he knows how to set things up. He
He's-
also knows it only takes one shot with him.
Yeah, he should have learned that the first time he fought him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just get your hands up.
Well, the thing about the first time is what he won the first round of the first fight,
Oh.
and then he was winning the second round a little bit to him. And he actually had Pereira in a little bit of trouble. There was some exchanges where he hit Pereira, had him moving backwards, but Alex is just too. He hits you. It's too scary.
Yeah, I was worried about Alex's chin, but that was at 85 when he had to cut all that weight. You know, you cut a lot of weight,
Yeah.
that fills up your chin.
100%. And his chin at 85 was not the same. I mean, you got to think of how much weight he was cutting. He was weighing in at 85 and then fighting at 225. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's 40 fucking pounds, man,
In one day.
in a day. That's insane. I mean, I don't know how he did it.
That weight cut is going to take I think that's what fucked me up with my health.
Yeah?
When you get older, look at people like James Toney.
Mm-hmm.
You see how he looks now?
Yeah.
You remember where he used to fight at?
Yeah. He used to be super middleweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he fought Roy Jones. I remember when he fought everybody. I mean, James Toney beat Evander at heavyweight. You know, James Toney was a bad man.
Bad man.
Hard to hit, too.
But he cut a lot of weight, and I think
Yes.
that fucks up your metabolism or something down the line when you get older, cutting all that weight and then putting it back on.
Yeah, it does.
It
I'm
fucked me
sure.
up.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. It's terrible for your kidneys.
Oh, who else? What's that? Prince Hassim? Have you seen?
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, he's big. Like a lot of fighters go through that. Like Ricky Hatton, I think he got himself under control now, but he used to blow up, and that fucks you up.
Yeah, but it's also like fighters when they're not training and they're not fighting anymore, they just start eating.
Oh man, yeah, I was bad for that.
Yeah, they just eat like crazy.
You enjoy yourself because you have to be so disciplined
Mhm.
in training camps, and then after that, you just. I used to always say, oh, I'm just gonna enjoy myself for like a week, then get back, and I'm never gonna get fat again.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say this shit all the time. 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks, I'm back, fucking fat as fuck.
Isn't it crazy how quick it gets back on you?
Yeah.
Especially if you eat pizza and bullshit and if you're drinking.
Oh yeah,
Drinking's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, drinking puts it on you quick, and I think that's where Ricky Hatton was having a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of fighters, especially guys who've got some brain damage. You know, they really crave alcohol. You know, there's something about your dopamine levels drop, and like when you've had significant amount of brain damage, you know, you've been KO'd a bunch of times. A lot of guys lean towards alcohol to make them feel better. But it's all, you know, some people get KO'd and they're fine.
Like those K1 guys,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even look gun shy. You know when Vanderlei knocked me out, that was my first time ever getting knocked out, and I didn't even go all the way unconscious. I remember hanging on a rope. You remember that?
Mhm.
And I remember thinking like, damn, I just got knocked the fuck out. And I could remember everything. I was dangling on the ropes, and I remember like blood dropping. And then after that, I was gun shy all the way up to when I come in to fight Chuck Liddell. I remember those fights. I was gun shy, and I was like, man, I got to fight Chuck Liddell. He's like one of the best strikers I've been up against. I need to bring somebody in to get me over this gun shyness, and that's how I met Chet Congo.
Really?
Yeah, I met him at the UFC once before. He was like a big, scary-looking guy,
Mm-hmm.
and my manager called his manager, and we flew him from France over to that training camp, and he kicked the shit out of me. And I got over that gun shyness.
Interesting.
It was a great camp.
Chet Congo was a beast. Remember that fight with Pat Barry?
Oh my god,
That is one of the craziest comebacks in the history of the sport.
the craziest one. Hands
Pat
down.
Barry was just swinging. Pat Barry was a good kickboxer, man. Real good kickboxer. And Pat Barry had him real badly hurt. And a lot of people could have stopped that fight. And he went down a couple of times. And then he clipped him with one shot. Boom.
Bro, that's Congo for you. That guy, countless times, he go through training camp, he gets injured, won't tell nobody, and still go out there and fight. I'm talking about with injuries that people would have to get surgeries for that wouldn't fight.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Here it is. There it is. There's the one right hand that
Yeah.
drops him. And Pat just got reckless. and he jumped all over him. Pat had big power too. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the size of him. Man.
Look at the
He's a
size
tank.
difference. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Congo was real tall and big, but Pat was a tank, man.
Oh. I think I was in Congo's corner. I can't remember, but I was watching that fight. I think I was doing the
Crazy.
commentating up
Here
up
it is.
top.
Boom.
Oh, that.
Boom.
Oh,
Out cold.
you don't even see it.
Yeah, you don't even see it. He hit him with one, stung him, and then the other one, his eyes rolled back.
Oh, you see his eyes?
Yeah, they're still open. Yeah, his eyes were rolled back. He was out. He was in the dark lands.
Look at him. Look. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was in the dark lands. He just got too wild. He got too wild. I mean, he had Congo hurt, man.
Yeah.
Real badly hurt.
Yeah, he's going in for the kill.
Look, he
That's
gets
the one,
clipped behind
yeah.
the ear, and then this one. Boom.
Oh.
I mean, that one just shut him off. And, you know, moving backwards kind of off angle, still crazy power.
But you know, Congo was a really good kickboxer too. He beat
Yep.
Krokop.
Yep.
I don't want to talk shit. Congo's like my big bro, but I was real proud of him to beat Krokop because Krokop is dangerous, man. Those leg kicks, those head
Every,
kicks.
every kick. Yeah, he's one of the hardest kickers ever. There's a picture of him when he fought Heath Herring. Did you ever see that fight?
Oh yeah, he kicked him in the body.
He kicked him in the body, and his body is like, his shin is like halfway into his body. It's a horrible picture. And especially it's that left one, which is, you know, he said right kick hospital, left kick cemetery. Yeah.
Krokop is the
Look at
fuck.
that.
Oh my God.
That's Chuck Barnett. That's,
Oh yeah, that was a good
that's
one.
one. Look at that other one down there.
Oh,
Who is that? Is that Sean O'Malley? Oh my God! Look at that kick. Who did he kick there? Good Lord. Good Lord. That is liver all day. I mean, that is deep in the liver. That's crazy. That's it. The upper left-hand corner. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. I mean, that shin is a perfect body kick.
wow.
That's deep into the body.
The first time I met Krokop was when I fought K1. Pride sent me to K1 because it was like my last fight of my contract. They thought I was gonna get knocked the fuck out and renegotiate for less money. And I didn't expect for Krokop to like me. They put us in a locker room together. And he was over there playing cards and stuff. And this Japanese reporter come over to me. And I was on the ground like stretching, you know, warming up, whatever. And I had my chain on the ground, which is crazy. I never laid a chain down. I don't know why I was on the ground. And a Japanese lady came and she was like, "Oh, what? Why do you got this chain? What does this chain mean?" You know, I guess K1 didn't know anything about me. I was coming from Pride. And I put the chain on. I said, "Oh, I'm a dog." And I started, I started humping her. And Krokop died laughing. Then ever since then, he liked me. Every time I see him, he'll come and I could make him laugh and stuff. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
He's a very cool guy. He's one of the first guys that came from kickboxing that did really well in MMA because
Yeah.
he was so explosive.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those other guys like Peter Aerts or Ernesto Hoost, I don't know if their style would have translated because they would just set you up over time, and Ernesto would just be chopping at the legs and hitting you with shots, but Krokop would just explode on you.
And he had good wrestling defense.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio McKee say he was training with Krokop, teaching him wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, and Antonio McKee is one of the best wrestling coaches. He's one of the best MMA coaches out there.
Well, he developed very good takedown defense, and that's what made him so scary.
Yeah.
Because if you have to stand up with that guy,
Yeah.
which shows you how good Fedor was in his prime, because those two fought in their prime, and Fedor was walking him down.
Yeah.
Stand up. The stand up. I mean, that was primarily a stand up fight.
Fedor gives no fucks.
He was a wild dude, man.
Now even though he beat my ass, he's still one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, one of mine as well.
Yeah.
I think, you know, when you look at the great heavyweights of all time, it's so hard to say like who's the greatest of all time, but you got to have him in the conversation.
Yeah. I wish he would have came to the UFC though. I wish they would have
Got close, got real close. They had some meetings, but apparently the people that Fedor had running with him, the people that were running his business, were, you know, they wanted a lot. You know, they wanted like co-promotion with the UFC. It wasn't just like give us some money. And you know, I guess the UFC was willing to give them a lot of money. They were like, no, we want co-promotion.
Yeah, it's too much.
They wanted to be a part of the business. They wanted to take over a little bit of the
Yeah, I heard
business.
rumors they wanted to have like rights to UFC Russia or some shit.
There's a bunch of different things. You'd have to talk to Dana, but I remember it was enough so that they had to beef up security. Like they were worried about how the negotiations went south.
Wow.
Yeah, they got nervous. It was a weird time. Those guys that were with him, they were serious dudes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to fight Fedor again. You know, that was my last fight, and I wasn't me. I was very unhealthy, but I didn't.
Why were you unhealthy? What was wrong?
Because I got mixed diagnosed with
Hypothyroidism?
yeah. So I was on this medicine, and the medicine was making me fat, and I was training hard. And
What kind of medicine did they have you on?
I forgot the name of it, but I had been on it for
Synthroid?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been on it for a while, and then I started training with TJ Dillashaw
Mm-hmm.
and Juan Archuleta, and they took me over there to Coach Cal,
Oh.
and that guy's a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius.
He's like a scientist. So he looked at my blood, and he looked through everything, and he was like, "You don't have a thyroid problem. Something wrong with your C3 or T3, whatever the fuck he said. But you don't have a thyroid problem, and that medicine you taking is fucking you up."
Mm.
And I just quit the medicine. I said, I knew it was the fucking medicine, but he said, "Hey, I don't suggest you just quit cold turkey. You don't know how your body is going to react."
Mm.
And then I said, "Fuck this! This medicine fucking me up. I'm quitting it." And when I got to Japan, one of my coaches told me, "Oh, you got to carb up before you fight. You got to carb up," because he noticed I wasn't eating carbs. And I listened to my coach. I'm a very coachable fighter, and I just got bloated overnight. I wasn't even looking that big when I got to Japan. And I just fucking blew up. And I said, "Fuck it, I'm fighting. I'm not pulling out of this fight."
You were thinking about pulling out?
Yeah, when I fucking saw myself in the fucking mirror, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
That's when you thought about pulling out? Really?
Yeah,
Just
because I was
looking at-
fighting. Because I trained hard. I noticed I wasn't losing weight for the fight, but I was heavyweight. I always wanted to get my weight down, look good, but I got down under 265, and I was training really hard. People thought I didn't train. People thought I threw the fight, and I was training hard. It's the hardest I ever trained, but I wasn't doing a whole lot of sparring and shit though, because when I was training with Coach Kyle, that was the hardest training I ever did, and it's so hard that you have to take the rest of the day off and the next morning.
Because it's like, so it's heavy cardio, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We were throwing 100-pound medicine balls at each other.
100 pounds.
100-pound while we was bouncing on a Boshu ball
Jesus Christ.
with TJ Dillashaw and Juan Archuleta. I don't know if you know Juan
Yeah,
Archuleta.
sure.
You know how small that guy is?
Yeah.
Coach Kyle had us flipping tires up a hill, like 200, 400-pound tires. I never flipped a tire before. This motherfucker used to flip his tire up the hill, run down, and help me flip mine. That's how strong that little motherfucker is.
Yeah, he's strong as fuck. He's
Yeah.
a great wrestler.
They're a great wrestler, and they have you on that spin bike, like a hard spin bike type of thing, for like an hour. Like it was torture. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna train really hard, and at the end of the day, all this shit fucked me up. So I cursed those two specialists that I saw, two different specialists, and they didn't do shit. They said, "Oh, you gotta be on this medicine for the rest of your life."
Mm.
And the second one, after I saw Coach Kyle, I went to somebody and they did a what you call it, MRI on my thyroid, and they were saying that it's not enough data yet to know if you damage your thyroid from getting and putting a lot of rear naked chokes.
Oh, really?
They say it's not enough data yet. Because I asked them, have you ever been in a rear naked choke and you fight so hard then your throat hurt a little bit?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I asked them about that. He said, yeah, it's not enough data yet. You guys haven't been doing this shit long enough for us to know.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense that it would hurt your thyroid. I mean, it's right there.
It's right there. So they don't know shit yet.
I
But
mean, you'd imagine. I mean, if your organs are getting hurt by getting kicked, they bleed. You know, you piss blood after you get kicked in the body a bunch of times.
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I would imagine it hurts your thyroid. I mean, if someone's got a real good squeeze, when
Yeah.
you get your neck.
That happened to me several times, but over the years. But I didn't really think anything of
And
it.
how many times in training?
Yeah,
Yeah, constantly.
that's where they get.
Yeah, well, that's where most people get really beat up from, really, right?
Yeah.
Most of the brain damage people get is from training.
Yeah,
Especially in the early days when people basically just fought in the gym. Do you remember when Marvin Eastman fought Travis Lutter?
no, I didn't see that one.
Marvin Eastman fought Travis Lutter in the UFC, and Travis Lutter caught him with a right hand and knocked him out cold. But it was like at the end of the punch, it didn't look normal. It looked like something was wrong. And what I had heard was that Marvin Eastman had been KO'd twice in camp. At least once. I know he got KO'd at least once. I think it was by Tito. I think they were wrestling
This was after I fought Marvin or before it?
after you fought Marvin. Because you fought Marvin in 2000. This was in the UFC.
Oh, okay. He was in.
Oh, you fought in the UFC. You fought Marvin in the UFC
that was
as
my
well.
yeah, 2007.
Yeah, I don't know if the Travis Lutter fight was before or after that fight.
I
See if you can see it. Find it, Jamie. Travis Lutter KOs Marvin Eastman. Because Travis was an awesome jiu-jitsu guy. Wasn't known as being like this crazy puncher. But you know, when you see guys that have fought that have been hurt real bad in the gym. You know, that happens all the time. You know, guys get KO'd
That's
in
what
the
happened
gym.
to Ninja.
Really?
Yeah, the shoebox guy, they was sparring so hard and fucked
Here
up his
it is.
career.
2004. So this is before you fought Marvin Eastman. That's right. You fought Marvin Eastman
In
about
2007.
Yeah. So he catches him on the end of this punch. And Travis Lutter, man, Travis Lutter is one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts to ever compete in MMA. And he was a guy that, he was the worst weight cut I ever saw in my life, ever. When he fought Anderson for the title. So look at this.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
I mean, it's a good right hand, but it seemed crazy, right?
Yeah, I think your
That's
chin
it.
just goes sometimes.
Yes.
But
But what I had heard from him was that he had been KO'd in training pretty bad.
Do you think it's mental?
I don't know. Like, I don't think that one was mental. I think if you've been KO'd, I think your brain's damaged. Just like if you hurt your hand. If you break your hand and it's still fucked up and you try to punch someone, it's going to get hurt. Same thing with your head.
But you would think that, you know, because your body heals itself, you would think your brain will rejuvenate over time.
It doesn't really.
It doesn't?
No. There's a lot of problems with the brain and healing. And one of the problems, there's a lot, right? But one of the problems is the tissue, the connective tissue that keeps the brain centered in the skull. That stuff rips over time. And that stuff is, once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't return. It doesn't heal back. It's just like taking your meniscus out of your knee. And your brain is just slapping around inside of there. And guys get KO'd way easier.
You think stem cells help that? Because I believe in stem cells.
I do too. Yeah,
It
I mean,
changed
I
my
know you
life.
go to that bioaccelerator place, which is great. A lot of people have gone there. and
It changed my life.
Yeah, stem cells are incredible, but I don't know if it helps that.
Brain rejuvenate.
Especially not helps you take a shot. It might help you heal from too many head injuries, but I don't think it helps your ability to take a punching. I think once that goes, that's gone.
You knowing that, would you let your son fight?
I would let my son fight before I'd let him do football.
The football is way worse.
I think it's way worse. They did a study on CTE with football, and they went from high school all the way into NFL players. And even in high school kids, most of them have it. And then you get into NFL, like people play all the time. Like they played like Pee Wee, they played junior high school, high school. Most likely they have some form of CTE. And then you get into, if you get into NFL, it's like 90+% of the guys have CTE.
I never heard of this shit till recently. We had Chandler Jones on our podcast. John Jones, brother.
Yeah.
You met him before?
No.
And
I've
he-
seen him at the UFC, but
Yeah, he seems like a real cool guy, but he was saying that people diagnosed him with CTE, but he said he didn't believe in it.
wasn't Chandler the one that had some sort of an incident where he went crazy?
Yeah, he did have something.
Yeah.
that.
A lot of people don't believe in things that are still real. You know?
Facts.
You know?
No, I didn't know what. I'm just not hearing about this shit now, though.
You seem fine.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You know, I don't take a whole lot of punches. I got that cover and roll, baby. I got
Yeah.
that cover and roll.
Yeah, you've always been defensively responsible like that. Yeah, you're
Except for
covered
leg
rolls
kicks.
like-
Except for leg
Yeah,
kicks.
leg kicks. You got mad at me once, but I wanted you to throw more because
Yeah.
your leg kicks are devastating.
Yeah.
I would see when you would hit guys with leg kicks. I was like, damn, I wish Quentin would throw more leg kicks.
I got to apologize to you about that.
Well, I apologize to you too.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not personal.
No, I know.
When I'm looking at you, I'm not thinking of you as a human being when you're fighting. I know you're a human being, but I'm analyzing movements and what I think a guy can do to be more successful. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
No, you didn't hurt my feelings. It was nothing that you said. I'm gonna clear it up for you right now. It wasn't nothing you said. It's the fucking fans. They all come like when you said it. And you kept saying they all come to me on my social media. Ever since social media. So I'm gonna explain to you. This is you remember when I was fighting in Pride. I would check leg kicks if they was hard. Except for Arona. I wasn't gonna check his leg kicks. It would have hurt my knee.
Wow.
But I would check the leg kicks if they were hard. But people in the UFC, they wasn't really kicking that hard.
Really?
No, their leg kicks wasn't that hard. So I take them and I try to land a punch. But the reason why I wasn't kicking that much is because they were desperately trying to take me down.
Right.
Even though I can wrestle, I started late. I'm not the best wrestler, and if you want to take somebody down, you're gonna get them when they got their leg up. So
But
that's
you were a very good MMA wrestler.
Yeah,
Like, you knew how to use it in MMA.
Yeah. I was never good at one art. When I put them together, that's when I felt like I come together. But so one time I tried to kick when they had me fight Matt Hamill. That's the only fight I never won. That's the only fight I ever wanted to back out of. I never wanted to fight that guy.
Why?
Cause I just felt like he was a boring fighter, and I got tired of fighting wrestlers that hold me down and hump me and shit. And I'm like, you know, it's fucking. For me, I like exciting fights. I rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight. It's just been my style. And I didn't want to fight him, so I remember when I was fighting him, and it was back in my head. I'm like, Joe Rogan gonna talk about me? Now they're fucking kicking and shit. So I threw a fucking kick, and sure enough, he almost took me down. I did not want that guy on top of me. So I said, "Bah, fuck this." I never kicked again after that.
That's funny.
Yeah. I kick in practice. When I spar, stuff like that. You know, I love Muay Thai. I started taking Muay Thai right after that fight with Sakuraba. I started training with Kali Moyama when he was training Tito. I went straight up to Big Bear, and I started training.
Colin's very good.
Yeah, he taught me to cover and roll. Yeah, I learned a lot from that guy.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's trained a lot of MMA fighters.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you see those guys that were around in the early days that are still around now.
Yeah.
You know, and how many different iterations of MMA they've seen. Like, the game has changed so much. Like, you watch young guys now. Like, there's guys that are entering into the UFC now that are elite fighters. They're already elite. First fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
They're world class.
It's crazy. You remember how it started off? You just knew one motherfucking thing.
Yeah. Yep. Wrestling or kickboxing or jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those things you were good at. And everything else, you're just hoping to get to whatever the fuck it was that you do.
Yeah, and it was crazy when like people like Carl Parisian came around with judo. Like, what the fuck? This motherfucker doing judo?
Carl was throwing people through the air. Carl was like one of the best judo guys to ever compete in MMA. He was fucking good, man.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah. And I had to train judo one time. It made me respect it a lot more. I was fighting. I forgot the damn guy's name. I think it's Ishii something. And he was like a judo gold medalist or some shit. I had to fight him in Bellator, big motherfucker. So I had to train judo. I trained for like a week. I gave up. Said, "Fuck this, man. My wrestling gonna take care of this shit."
Well, those guys are judo guys are so strong because they're throwing bodies around all the time. There's always like hoisting bodies through the air and throwing them around. I rolled with Carl once. He was the hardest guy ever. Like, his body was like, he didn't look impressive, but he was crazy strong, like a chimpanzee. Like, just throws you around. It was like there's such a evidence, like a big difference in strength with a guy like that that's just used to throwing, like Hector Lombard. He's another one.
Yeah.
Hector, crazy powerful.
Yeah. Carl Parisian, he used to train with me, Tito, and I think Randy Couture. He used to kick all three of our asses, taking turns, and we all bigger than him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a beast.
He was a beast, man. He was a beast. I remember his fight with Diego Sanchez. Holy shit, that was a wild fight.
I like to see him come back because
Caro?
yeah, you know,
How old is Caro now?
he got to be younger than me. I'm 46 now. He got to be younger than me. Or
Caro had a bad leg injury, and he tore his hamstring and never got it surgically repaired. So he was always like, one leg was always like 40% of what it should have been. It was bad to the point where he had to take painkillers and a bunch of shit. He had a hole in the back of his leg. Like you ever see a guy that like tears their bicep and they get that weird where it curls up? That was how his leg looked. So the back of his leg had like a hole in it. Like his hamstring was gone.
it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, so he could have had it, but he would have had to have surgery right after the tear, and he didn't. And so once it curls up and locks in place, like I guess they can't bring it back.
Oh, yeah. How you feel about the like older guys like me, Rashad, and Mark Coleman, all of us fighting in like a league with other older guys instead of putting us with younger people?
That's not a bad idea, like a Legends League.
Yeah, because we still love it. We still love to fight, you know. But it's just we just can't compete with the
youngest guys.
Yeah, Father Time is undefeated, bro.
Father Time never loses. And not only that, like these young guys haven't had all the injuries that the older guys have had.
Yeah.
You know, you see older guys, they look fine, but you know, who knows what the fucking neck, my knee, my hip, my fucking wrist. There's always something. If you've had 25 MMA fights, 35 MMA fights, you got problems.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's not banged up.
Man, when I get out of bed in the morning, like those first couple steps, I'm like, damn, was it worth it?
Yeah, but you came out better than most people.
Yeah, I already had an injury coming into MMA. My knee was fucked. I fucked my knee up in college, but I haven't had too much.
What'd you do with your knee in college?
Man, my teammates, half of my teammates wasn't coming to practice, and the coach was like, since you guys are not getting your teammates here, you got to work out for them. So they used to pair us up in groups of twos and make us do 15 push-ups. Other guy do 15 reps. Then you go all the way down to 5, right? After 2 weeks of that, we got so strong. We was bottoming out on everything, right? So I'm wrestling one of my teammates, and he tried to get a single leg on me. And this is right when I was getting better at wrestling. I was getting good. It was hard to take me down and everything. I was in Laston Junior College, and the wrestlers there, they was like the rejects, but they was all good. They had to come there first, then they went to D1 schools, right? And I'm wrestling this guy, and he's still my friend to this day. He get mad when I tell the story. And he was going in for a single, and I wasn't giving it up because everybody was talking shit to me. I was a runt on the team. I was the worst wrestler there, and I think I took him down, and he wanted to get his takedown back, and he took my leg and he bent it sideways and went pop. And I think he tore my meniscus or some shit. And they didn't even take me to I don't even know what happened. They never got me MRI. They just threw me away.
Really?
Yeah. And I
That
just
was
let
it?
Yeah, just it. I let it heal up on its own.
And it never got 100%?
It never was the same.
Wow.
And then I think that was my meniscus. I don't know, but I injured my meniscus when I was training for Ryan Bader. I had like a little partial tear, and the doctor told me, no, you don't want to fight because you can rip it all the way. And it's another fight in Japan. It's hard for me to pull out in Japan. That's why I think it's a good idea for me to go over there and make some babies.
Well, it's amazing what they can do with stem cells now, because I had a tear in my right knee and I got stem cells on it. I had a couple different cycles of stem cells. Now it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to get it done on my right knee too, because I had my left knee part of my meniscus removed. Because it was a bucket handle tear, so it would lock out.
Yeah.
So it would lock straight, it would like pop, and then you can't bend your knee. And you're like, oh my god, and then it's painful as fuck.
Yeah, they used to have Rico Rodriguez. I used to corner him one time in his fight, and that was my job. In each round to pull his leg out.
Yeah, Rico didn't have an ACL.
Yeah.
He fought at the highest level with no ACL.
Yeah.
He was the first guy I ever heard that did that. I'm like, that is crazy.
He didn't give a fuck.
Crazy.
It's crazy what fighters put up with.
I know. Well, there's fighters right now that are fighting with no ACLs. I know a couple of them.
Football players wouldn't do that shit. Huh?
No, you get it repaired.
I think we should get doctors like them. Like, you know how they have, like, what you call those, like physios? I think we should have that on every team. Have like a set of physios and people that, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Even to today, we don't know shit.
Well, that's why the UFC Performance Institute is so important. Because
they got
UFC,
that there.
They have everything. Everything. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I thought leagues that got all this shit.
Oh, the UFC Performance Institute is like one of the most high-level training environments in the world. People come and do their camp in Vegas. So like if they know they're going to fight in Vegas, they'll come to Vegas and bring their coaches, and everybody does their whole camp at the PI. PI is incredible.
I never been there.
Oh my God, it's amazing. They videotape all the sparring sessions so you can watch it from multiple different angles. They have it up for you. You could review. Like, see, you do this, you drop your hands. See, you do this. You can't defend like that. You got to do this way, and you watch it all on high def videotape.
They charge you for camp?
No. You just go train there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, all the UFC athletes can go train there. They have nutrition. They feed you. Yeah.
For free?
Oh yeah, they'll set you up with meals. Yeah.
For free?
Not only that, it's all nutritionally balanced. They'll work with a nutritionist for your weight cut, for everything. Yeah. All healthy foods.
I got more respect for the UFC now.
Oh, it's incredible. The place is amazing. I did a tour of it. It was amazing. It's amazing. I mean, they have sauna, cold plunge, like you name it. Every modality, red light, anything that can help you heal, anything that helps you get
and
better.
It's for free for the fighters.
For free.
Now say what
all
you
the
want.
strength and conditioning equipment, anything you need, bags, everything you need.
You just got to be on the UFC roster to use it.
If you're on the UFC roster, you go there and train.
Say what you want about Uncle Dana, but he did a lot for this sport.
Oh my God! Without him, this wouldn't be possible. Like, you see what happens with these other organizations with regular dudes running it. They all fold up. They fall apart.
Yeah.
Like the UFC had the name in the beginning, but they ran with it after that. Like, because Pride had a name too, man. Pride, people don't know, Pride was bigger in Japan than the UFC was in America.
Yeah.
At the time, Pride, way before the UFC could ever do this, Pride was selling out 90,000 seat stadiums.
Yeah. I remember it. Pride was like almost at the level of NBA is here in Japan. Like, I remember fighting. Then the next day, my cornermen, they would go and get a newspaper, a Japanese newspaper, and I'd be on the front page of the fucking newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah, like, you never see that shit here.
No. But, well, you kind of do now.
Well, I don't know. now.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't see
now
newspapers.
You see, what newspapers don't really exist anymore. But like when it comes to like news coverage, like my news feed was overwhelmed with Alex Pereira's knockout.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, there was so many pictures of it because it was, it was a giant event.
ESPN though. Is on, yeah.
Yeah. But all these different websites were covering it because it's just, first of all, like when you got a guy that's that dominant, that's what people love. They love a Mike Tyson. They love some dude who's just fucking everybody up. Like you can't wait to watch him fight people because you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna fuck people up.
Yeah. What fucked up Pride was they lost the contract with Fuji TV.
It's crazy that it could be so big in Japan and then dwindle away to almost nothing. So you see events from Japan now, it's like a shadow of what it was.
Yeah, Risen. You would think that Risen would do what Pride did.
Right. You would think. You would think Ryzen would it would fill in the gap. Like if the UFC went away, the PFL would probably take up the slack. Something happened. The UFC decided, you know what? We found Jesus. We're not. No more fights. Everybody, good luck. Take care. We're gonna close shop for some crazy reason. So, those guys will go somewhere, and everyone has a name. Right now, the only way an organization could benefit, like PFL signed Francis. That's probably the only way the PFL is gonna get people to pay attention. Like you have to have someone like Francis.
But who is he gonna fight though?
This is wild Brazilian dude over there who's fucking dangerous.
That big guy that beat up Ryan Bader?
Yes, that guy's fucking dangerous.
He's huge.
He's huge and he can strike.
But that's the only guy.
That's the only guy. I mean, maybe if Francis, if the PFL gets some heat behind it because of this, maybe if they have the money. Like I know there's some other countries that are involved, like the Saudis. If they get involved and they start throwing money away, maybe.
You think he'll go back to boxing?
Yeah, because he's made so much money, But like after the Joshua fight, it's going to be different, right?
Yeah.
So the Francis Ngannou fight, it was, he's fighting one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time and drops him in the second round. And everybody's like, what? And then he beat him up in the 8th round, too.
I thought he won that fight.
I thought he won that fight, too. Yeah, I thought he won that fight, too. But, if they're setting up that Usyk fight, they were not going to. Yeah. It just seemed like the fix was in a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was close enough that they could pull it off. And you can go, okay, maybe you could see him winning that, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I thought Francis won it. A lot of people thought Francis won it. Yeah.
Oh, there's that big guy, huh?
This dude. What is his name?
Ferreira.
Henan Ferreira. He's big, too. He's like 6'7".
Look at that.
Yeah,
Whoa,
look
what
at that knee.
6'8",
6'8",
260.
260. Yeah, bro.
I think Francis can get him, though.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, look, Francis can get anyone. Anyone alive. Anyone alive, if that guy hits you, he could put you asleep.
Man, Francis surprised me when he knocked out Alistair Overeem. That's when he came on my radar. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Bro, that was, to this day, one of the scariest left hooks of all time. Because his head snapped so far back, it was like he was looking at his feet. Like, he was looking at his ankles behind himself. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. I never saw that.
And then when he knocked out Stipe, good Lord. I mean, with the little gloves on, and leg kicks and shit, there's not a whole lot like that one. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That kind of power?
Yeah.
Francis, man.
Dude, I took a picture with Francis in Saudi Arabia. That motherfucker's twice my size.
He's huge.
He's big.
He's huge. I'm happy that he went and got paid. I'm happy that he got that money for the Tyson Fury fight because everybody was dismissing it. Dana was dismissing it. And then he drops Tyson Fury, and in a lot of people's eyes, won the fight. Like, fuck yeah. And then he gets a big payday against Joshua. I'm happy that he made money, but I wish he would have made that money in the UFC. My dream fight was at heavyweight, John Jones and Francis. And I still think to this, there was actually an article that I read this morning that with the Saudis, the UFC is now doing shows in Saudi Arabia, that Dana is not opposed to the possibility of a joint promotion with John Jones versus Francis.
Wow, that would be huge. Huge. With all due respect, I think John Jones is a smart enough fighter to not fight Francis fight on that one, though.
Really?
Yeah. John Jones, he ain't no dummy. He's a smart fighter. I always say John Jones is Neo.
Neo from the Matrix?
Yeah. The kid, his mind is so strong. I think that he would desperately try to get Francis down and submit him. He won't be dumb enough to stand.
No, he won't stand with him.
No.
John, as good as he is, has never been like a one-punch knockout guy.
No.
You know, he beats guys up and strangles them and
Yeah.
beats them up on the ground. But
Does he have any knockouts?
from one shot, I mean, he head kicked Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dropped him with that, and then beat him up on the ground,
Yeah.
stopped him.
Yeah, but yeah.
Most of the time, he just mauls people on the ground.
Yeah, he don't. Yeah, when he punched me, it was like I was more worried about the eye pokes than the punch.
Does a lot of that. What do you think about that, man? Like the gloves that they have, I think to this day, I know the UFC changed their gloves and they got new gloves now, and I think the new gloves are definitely better than the old gloves. But Trevor Whitman has the best gloves ever. You ever see his gloves?
No, no. But I heard that when the UFC gloves was coming out, come out with new gloves, I heard that somebody invented gloves that keep your hand that kind of
Curled.
Yeah.
That's Trevor Whitman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but they didn't go with them.
No, apparently Trevor wanted some crazy amount of money for the gloves
For the pad?
UFC.
For the pad?
I don't know what, like, to sell his design, his product, whatever. And he wanted a lot of money, apparently, and the UFC wasn't willing to. They were trying to make a deal with him, and I was telling Dana, get his gloves, man. They're way better. And excuse me. And his gloves are curved. They're curved, so that your hand sits like this always. So that's his
Where?
boxing gloves there. But what about his bag or his MMA gloves? Does it show the Onyx? Onyx is his company, ONX MMA glove. That's the sparring glove. But there it is. I'm wearing it. Okay. That's it. That's
Yeah.
when Justin did my podcast,
Yeah.
and I put his glove on. See how it's curved?
Yeah.
Like that's not even me making a fist. That's just putting it on. You
Yeah.
put it on, it's curved.
That makes sense. But why he didn't just back off on the price a little bit? Like that's
He should have, for sure. Here's my thought, and tell me what you think about this. The UFC gloves, the way they are right now, why don't they cover the fingers? Why don't you have a glove where you have the padding on the knuckle, but that you just have a layer of leather that goes over the fingers and goes behind the hand like this? That way, even if you do have your hands open, you'll be running into it like this. It
like a
won't
mitt.
be.
You talking about like a mitt almost?
Yeah, like a mitt.
Almost like pride gloves a little bit, but over the fingers.
Over, but covering the fingertips.
I
Like,
think the
there's no-
grapplers would get upset about
But
that.
why? Because you never do this. You never interlace your fingers together, right? That's Hayabusa.
Yeah, but I know, but like that. Or no?
No, I mean covering the tips of the fingers. The tips are still going to be there. The problem is the tips. The problem is the fingertips going into the eyes. Like every time you see a poke, it's like one finger going into the eyeball, you know. But if you have it covered up, at least it would be different. Like it wouldn't be one poke going straight through. It'd be a layer that's covering, a layer of leather that covers over the tip of the fingers.
I need to see those. But I'll tell you this: I've been fighting for 25 years. I've never poked anybody in the eye, not even in training.
Really?
Yeah, I never. Because why you got to do this shit?
You shouldn't do that. ever.
Exactly.
John is a master.
Bro, I was
Keep them
I was begging the referee.
Yeah.
I was begging the referee. I'm like, look, I never do that in fights. I never take my attention off my opponent.
Yeah.
But I was going to that fight. I was thinking about wearing goggles out, walking out, because I knew he was going to poke me in the eye.
Yeah.
I got poked in the eye in training camp trying to train that shit.
Oh wow.
And I had like a little red spot in there when we did the stare down. I know he saw that shit. I'm like, damn, giving him a fucking target. Goddamn.
He's really good at those leg kicks too. Those
Oh, man.
oblique kicks to the
I
knee.
think that should be illegal, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm thinking about starting my own MMA league, like Rampage style. You know what I'm saying? My
Mhm.
own, what I think MMA should be like, right? And I'm going to make that shit illegal. That one thing.
That one side kick to the knee.
Oh, that oblique kick. Fuck that shit.
Did you see the one Khalil Roundtree landed?
Oh my god, I got
Oh
on him
my
about that
God.
shit. Oh my god.
Did you get on him about
Hell
it?
yeah.
What did he say?
He like, man, fuck that. It's a fucking technique.
It is a technique.
But that guy got some scary Muay Thai skills.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I want to go where the fuck he went and train.
Yeah. Well, I don't know which camp he went to.
Oh
There
my
it is.
god, I can't even watch that
I
shit.
know, it's horrible. He tore his knee apart. Bukakis was out for like a solid year after that. Look at that side kick right to the knee.
Bro, that should be illegal, bro.
Oh man, full power. Too.
No, I
Look how
can't even watch that shit.
Just tears his knee apart. That's
Bro.
horrible.
Bro, John bent mine backwards. My knee haven't been the same, but when I went and got stem cells, thank God, bro, that shit changed my life. I took my knee braces out. I could wrestle without my knee braces and shit after that. But before that, it was hard for me getting in and out of my cars and everything. And I bumped into John Jones one day. We was at a nightclub or something, and you know how I am. I cussed him out. He was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." And he was like, "Come on over here with me." We was going to go somewhere else, and we had to walk up on some couches and shit. and I tried to get up there. I couldn't because this is before I went and got stem cells. I couldn't get up there because of my fucking knee. He said, I laid it on thick like the Jewish guilt. You know what I'm talking about? I laid it on thick on. He felt bad, and that for me that was good enough. I forgave him after that because he did feel bad. But my thing about fighting, I feel like we all Conrads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we make our living. So
right.
I never tried to really hurt nobody besides Rona. He made me lose my temper. That's why I did that with him. But nobody else. I never really tried to hurt anybody so they can continue to keep making money. So I just have honor when I fight, and I want everybody to understand, like, look, this is just a sport. I'm not trying
right.
I'm trying to knock you out and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna try to maim you, you know.
Thiago Santos, he ruined both his knees. John did. Yeah, both his knees after that fight, he had to get surgery on. He tore both of them apart. He sidekicked the fuck out of his knees.
Yeah.
He does the oblique kick to the thigh too. He does it everywhere.
So think about this: you're a promoter, and you got this fighter that sells a lot of tickets. Mm-hmm. So you want to give him at least 2 fights a year, 3 fights a year. But you got a guy like John Jones fucking your fighters up, man. Now they fucking injured, and you be lucky they come back in 2 years or something like that. It's not good for business.
It's definitely not good for business, but it's still legal. It's legal right now, so it's like, it's hard to say. I see the point that you shouldn't be able to allowed to target the knees, but then someone would say, okay, but you could roundhouse kick the knees, but you just can't side kick it. You can't hyperextend it. Can you front kick it? No, you can't front kick it.
Right.
Darren Till does it too. He was doing it a lot. He fucked up Wonder Boy's knee that way.
Yeah, it's like the elbows. Like, you're allowed to elbow somebody, but not in the back of the head.
Right.
But you remember John spin elbow?
Mm-hmm.
Where did it land most of the time?
Back of the head. Well, how about wheel kicks and roundhouse kicks? A lot of times they land in the back of the head too.
Yeah.
You go over the top of the shoulder, bang, it's over the back of the head that lands.
Yeah, but those don't come off that often. There's
a lot of roundhouse kicks land in the back of the head.
They come off a lot?
Yeah, because especially if you, like, say if a person is standing orthodox and you're standing orthodox and you throw a high kick and you go over his shoulder, you're hitting them right here, right behind the head.
You know how to do that kick?
Yeah.
I saw you kicking the bag. I was like, damn. I knew you was good at jiu-jitsu. I didn't know you could kick like that.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I was a taekwondo guy. That's how I started.
I call it take your dough.
Take your dough? Yeah, it's not good for... It's good for learning how to kick. That's what it's good for. It's not good for learning how to fight.
You don't think it's good for MMA?
It's good if you know all the other things.
Yeah,
but you have to know all the other things. Like, there's no one from taekwondo that's just going to go into MMA and dominate.
Well, I think Anthony Pettis.
Right, but he's got great jiu-jitsu, great boxing.
I think he did Muay Thai with it.
Kicks.
Did he do Muay Thai with it?
Pettis can do anything. He does everything.
That guy's a beast, too.
He's a beast. That Showtime kick where he fought Henderson and bounced off the cage to this day.
Bro.
Highlight reels forever.
Bro, that's like MMA. That's like some Tekken shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my dream was? I was training for it one time, but I never had the balls to pull it off. I always wanted to do the the jump uppercut. I was training for that shit and called him like, man, sit your ass down.
That's hilarious.
I was going to pull it off in Pride one day, but when the fight came, I just didn't have the balls. And so that's why I get jealous of guys that can do that shit, that they can pull it off in fights. They can be themselves. Because when I fight, I'm not myself. I'm not the same person that trained. If you come see me train, even when I was champion, best in the world. At one time, I was best in the world. I was fucking the first unified champion of fucking MMA.
Right.
Before Anderson Silva did it. In my mind, I was the best in the fucking universe. And when I train, you come to the gym, I look like shit. Getting the dog shit kicked out of me all over the fucking gym.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
I think when I fight, I think Rampage come out. It's just my alter ego or something. It's just, but sometimes he don't show up, Joe. It's the weirdest thing. Nah, it's me out there fighting. You know me. I like to joke around and laugh.
Right.
I like to say I'm a comedian pretending to be a fighter. So I'm out there, and one time I noticed I wasn't howling before the fight, and the guy that's walking me out to the fight, he dropped something, and I'm bent down to help him pick it up. I'm like, Rampage will never do that. That's when I knew it was like,
no.
he is not here. I hope he show up when I get in the fucking cage.
Roy Jones Jr. said he had something like that too. He called it RJ. He goes, this is Roy Jones. He goes, but when RJ comes out, everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, and he was on the next level too.
Oh man,
I don't know what that is though. I don't know what what happens. Like I know in my locker room I'm joking and stuff up to 5 minutes before the fight, and then when I start howling and stuff, like, oh shit, Rampage is here. My team, they knew it. They used to always say, oh, there you go. I remember hearing them say it.
It must be crazy for them to watch you spar and lose in the gym and not look good, but know that you're just working hard. As long as you're in shape, once you get in there, the real Rampage comes out.
Yeah. And one of my coaches said that. He said he knows people that's really good in the gym, but then when they get out in the lights and with the pressure, they don't perform.
It's way better to be the other way.
Yeah.
Look bad in the gym, good in the fights. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there's also like people put themselves in positions in the gym because they want to work hard, so they put themselves in bad positions all the time.
Yeah.
That you would never allow yourself to get into.
Yeah.
In a fight.
I do that with jiu-jitsu because I never really liked jiu-jitsu a whole lot, and it was like my worst thing. So I used to just start rolling with myself in guillotine chokes or get put in bad positions.
Just to fight out of things all the time?
Yeah, and I wouldn't tell my sparring partner what I was doing.
Oh, you just let them get you in there?
Yeah, I just let them get me and stuff, and I try to work my way out. That's why I only been submitted like 2 times with rear naked chokes. Those my kryptonite. Sakuraba got me.
Who else got you other than Sakuraba?
And John Jones.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't train with tall jiu-jitsu guys for him. I had a tall guy to spar with, but I didn't have anybody long and lanky like that. And I didn't think they would make a difference. But after the fight, I was like, fuck yeah.
It makes a difference on the ground for sure because they can secure chokes from places that you just can't get to.
Yeah, training for that guy was like the hardest training camp. It was the hardest thing. I remember my coaches. I just listened to my coach. I don't watch the fights. They was like, if he turns southpaw, he's gonna throw this kick. If he do this, he's gonna do that. Had to train for the oblique kick, for the spinning elbows. That was the hardest motherfucking training camp. Before him, it was I'm having a brain fart. The Brazilian guy, the karate kid.
Lyoto?
Oh my God, that training camp was so hard too. Training for a karate guy. He's southpaw too.
Oh, he was so good too. In his prime, Lyoto Machida was a beast, man. Oof.
Yeah, bro. I had to bring in like karate guys. We brought in this karate coach, and you know I'm bad with names, and he was in that movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
And he was a karate guy, and I was with those managers from the UK, so they knew him. And
the Wolf Slayer.
Yeah, and they brought that guy in, and he was getting mad when I was beating up the karate guys. I was like, this is supposed to be my coach, but you know what I'm saying? He getting mad when he brought his karate guys, and then the first day was fucking me up, but then I learned, and I started fucking up the karate guys. He was getting mad, and I'm like, man, you my coach.
That's crazy. Why was he getting mad?
I think because it was his
loyal to karate.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's crazy how.
That's not a good coach.
Bro, martial artists have big egos, bro.
They do. Huge egos, and they get real loyal to their particular style. You know, like one of the things that would drive me crazy when I would watch young guys is like there was this guy that we were working with back in the day that was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he had this Muay Thai coach. And his Muay Thai coach had him convinced that he's a dangerous Muay Thai fighter. Just dangerous. You're gonna fight. You're gonna stand up. And I remember they were asking him before the fight, is he ready? How's he feeling? He goes, he's Bangkok ready. It's Bangkok ready. Like, this motherfucker better shoot for doubles and take people down and strangle them. Like, stop all this kickboxing. You're not a kickboxer. I watched the dude hit the bag, and I go, please take that guy down. You don't have any power. Don't listen to this guy, man. Yeah. You're fighting guys that are real strikers. Like, you can't be striking with a real striker. You thinking you're striking because you're striking in the gym with guys and you're doing okay. Real strikers are different, man.
Yeah.
These guys
can't get the dog out.
Okay, I get them.
They don't want to, especially if they're getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they're also sparring. They're not fighting.
Yeah.
There's just a fucking giant difference, man, when someone's setting something up and they're just looking to drop, and you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
There's so many guys who get
Let's go.
One of Eddie
Let's go.
Bravo's
Come on.
he's going to do MMA. He said,
Go.
what are they going to do in MMA? I go, how much
Come on.
training are you doing? Striking?
Come on.
Not much. I'm just going to take him to the ground. I go, listen. I go, you know how good you are on the ground? There's guys that are that good at stand-up. You know how you can just play with some dude who's a white belt on the ground? There's dudes that they get in front of you, you can't do a damn thing about it, and they're going to be hitting you. That's the difference. The difference is if you take a guy down, you get him in an armbar, he's taps, and that's the end of it. This is not that. This is you getting separated from your fucking consciousness and getting punted in the head by a leg. a leg. I mean, you're fighting Muay Thai guys. He wound up getting fucked up, and that was his only fight. And I was telling him like, don't do that again. You can't disrespect that. Like you can't think that just because you're good at this one thing, you're gonna be good at everything. But guys think that way, which is like one of the things I'm sure you've seen this. Like a lot of like real good kickboxers, they don't like to roll.
Yeah.
They don't like to roll because they don't do good at rolling. They want to spar because they want to hit the mitts, they want to hit the pads, they feel good. Throw those pads. They look good, hit those pads like
But you gotta do what you gotta do what you shit at though. You gotta do it.
But that's the difference in you, who became a champion, and some guys who just have big egos and they're fragile because you were willing to look like shit in training.
Yeah.
You were just training. It's just training. And then once you fought great. But it's just like you got to be able to look like shit in training.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get good at jiu-jitsu, guess what? There's only one way. You got to roll with guys who know how to strangle you because you got to figure out how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're never going to learn.
Right.
And there's guys that were like real good fighters that just never learned that aspect of the game, and they just always were limited. They always had a ceiling on how far they could progress.
Yeah. I surprised a lot of people with my jiu-jitsu. People, because I didn't like it and I didn't never show it. People thought I didn't know it. But when I fought Dan Henderson, it kind of showed a little bit. But what helped me out is, Mayhem Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He was my buddy. We was like brothers. We
Mayhem was good.
Yeah, he was good. He was my training partner.
Yeah.
And he went to train with Dan Henderson for that fight.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and so Dan Henderson ground game was like Mayhem's. And Mayhem used to dominate me on the ground. But so Dan Henderson was fighting like, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. And he's not as good as Mayhem at it. So that helped me. My buddy going training.
Mayhem was fucking good on the ground, man. I remember Mayhem's finest performance was against Sakuraba. When Mayhem, he beat the shit out of Sakuraba. And I remember watching that fight go, and I had a phone call with him. We talked on the phone. I was like, dude, you're on it right now. Like you are right now, you're world class. Like just keep your shit together. And you could be like an elite fighter, like a world championship caliber. See if you can find Jason Mayhem Miller versus Sakuraba.
I never saw. I don't think I ever saw. Maybe I saw it years ago. But that guy's his jiu-jitsu next level.
Next level, very high level, very high level. But he was just whatever. Just couldn't put it all together in the best fights. The Michael Bisping fight, George St. Pierre. There was guys that knew how to beat him. But this was Mayhem, focused, in shape, training, like full skill set.
And this was when Sakuraba was at the top. He was beating the Gracies and stuff.
Oh,
Right?
and dude, Sakuraba was still very good. I mean, he was a little past that now. Like I think he'd already got KO'd by a couple of guys, but he was still Sakuraba. This is not an old Sakuraba. I mean, he had his legs taped up like a mummy by then.
Yeah. I saw Sakuraba a couple of weeks ago in Japan.
Yeah, he was Sakuraba in his day. Man, I remember when he knocked out, where he submitted Conan Silveira, and everybody's like, "What? He submitted a jiu-jitsu black belt?"
Yeah, he's good. He's tricky. He don't stop. He goes from one submission to the next. That's how he got me.
So this is Jason. Like Sakuraba's going for a leg lock. Jason defends. Jason was so good on the ground. Like, good luck catching him with something.
And he won't tap anyway. Jason won't tap even if he got a fight in a week. You get him an armbar, he won't tap. Break his arm, he don't give a fuck.
Jesus, he was a wild dude, man. He was a wild dude. And this was like a dominant performance over a legend. And look at it, look at the camera. Gives a peace sign to the fucking camera. Oh, once he got that wrist tie.
This was in Pride?
Yeah, man.
I don't know why I didn't see this one.
Oh, no, it was Dream. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so this is post-Pride.
Yeah.
What year was this? Does it say?
Man, he's fucking Sakuraba.
Oh, he fucked him up, dude. It was a complete domination. 2010. Yeah, so this is like Sakuraba had already been beaten up by a bunch of guys, and then he gets him an arm triangle. Bro.
This is it right here?
Yep.
And the first round?
Yep. Look at that. Tapping. Mayhem.
I couldn't believe Sakuraba tapped.
Yep.
I thought he would go to sleep.
I think he did go to sleep.
Did you know Sakuraba is a fucking chain smoker?
I heard. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy, bro.
How?
I don't know how he.
How?
I don't know how he has the fucking cardio he has.
Imagine the cardio he'd have if he didn't chain smoke.
Do you remember that fight when what was that? Was it Horse Gracie?
Mm-hmm.
And they took the time limit out?
Yeah.
That's because they knew he was a smoker.
Really? So they just wanted to drag it out?
Yeah, because they thought that he's gonna get tired.
Or he's gonna want a cigarette?
Man, I did a movie with him in Japan, and he had to take a smoke break every 5 minutes.
Wow.
Every 5 minutes, bro.
Wow.
Every 5 minutes. I'm not over exaggerating.
And was this like when he was in training?
Yeah.
Back then, he smoked that much?
Yeah, it was like a couple years after I fought him, maybe like a year or two after I fought him. He was,
How does he not fuck his lungs up?
bro. I think it's mental. I think a lot of things is mental. I believe in the power of the mind. I used to have a really strong mind back in the day. Like, remember I told you about the Forrest kicking me, the calf kick?
Yeah.
Bro, my mind was so strong back then. I healed my leg up in between rounds. My shit was in pain, but I was mentally strong. And I also think that's why I lost that fight, because I had the manager at the time that I didn't trust him anymore. And I remember him saying, like, if Rampage loses this fight, I'm gonna retire. And I had been trying to fire him a couple times, but he got put on the heartstrings every time. So I was thinking, I think subconsciously in the back of my mind, I lost that fight.
So you think maybe if I lose this fight, I can get rid of this guy?
In the back of my mind, but I really wanted to win because I was champion.
But you were torn.
Yeah, but in the back of my mind, but my mind was strong enough to heal my leg up where I could go. I couldn't feel pain. It was really, my leg was really fucked. And that fight, I still think I won that fight when I went back and watched it. I think I lost 2 rounds and I won 3, and I lost my belt.
I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah,
But I feel like it was a very close fight. I remember that.
I remember it being a close fight, but I remember I slammed him. I think I dropped him a couple times, and I think the only thing he did was really like hurt my leg in like the first round and the second round. But I think I won the last 3. But I remember watching it again because I'm honest about it. When I fought Ninja at the time, I thought he won. And I told him right then and there, I was like, "Oh, bro, I thought he won. I thought I got my ass kicked, but they gave me the decision." I'm honest about that shit.
So you said that Ninja got hurt in training?
Yeah, this is what the word around the campfire, because shootbox they spar hard. And you haven't heard about him fighting in a long time. He retired a long time
I
ago.
heard he had some sort of brain bleed.
Yeah, they get knocked out a lot in sparring.
Yeah.
Those guys. I heard some other people was training there with them. Say they go full.
I
blown.
heard that Shogun and Vanderlei, they fought for a puppy because Shogun had some pit bull puppies and Vanderlei wanted one, and he was offering to sell it to him. He said, "Let's fight for it," and Vanderlei KO'd him and took the puppy.
I believe it.
I believe it too,
I believe it.
because those guys knocked each other out a lot.
They like savages of MMA, bro.
I think they just didn't understand that it's like a punch card. You only have so many holes you can punch in that card, and then that's it. And if you're sparring like that, you're KOing each other, and then you're back in the gym on Monday, like that's nuts.
Yeah, because normally when you get knocked out, well, you got to take 30 days off.
You should take a long time off.
More than 30 days?
Yeah, a long time. Like Justin Gaethje said he's going to take 6 months off and not do anything for 6 months after that Max Holloway fight.
He's not even going to train?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's probably training, probably working out a little bit, but he's not going to do any sparring.
Bro,
at all.
I think that's the most iconic knockout in MMA.
Ever. 1 second to go in a 5-round fight that he was dominating, and a 5-round fight where a lot of people thought Max was outgunned.
I thought Max was winning that
He
fight.
was winning, but I mean, outgunned, like going into the fight. Like Justin Gaethje is a big KO artist. He just got done head kicking Dustin Poirier. He's a 55er. Max had lost a few times at 45 to Volkanovski, and everybody was thinking he was past his prime. And then Max just puts on a fucking performance of a lifetime.
Man, but I always knew Max boxing was the next level, though.
Next level. Well, his heart and mind is next level too. And people also forget Max is only 32. He's just been in the UFC for so long. His first fight in the UFC, he was 20 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that young.
I think his first fight was Conor McGregor.
Was it?
Yes, I think so. So go to Max Holloway's career record. For
Did he
the
beat
UFC.
Conor?
No, he lost a decision. He was the only guy to survive in the early days of Conor, when Conor was just flatlining everybody. This is 145 Conor. No?
His first fight was against Dustin Poirier.
Oh, that's right. He got armbarred against Dustin. Yeah, Dustin got him in an armbar. And then his second fight was Conor, correct?
That was like his 6th fight, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit. Wow. And then wow, he had so many fights, man. Isn't that crazy? So he lost to Dustin Poirier. That's 2012. And then Pat Schilling, he wins. Justin Lawrence wins. Leonard Garcia, I forgot about Leonard. Shout out to Leonard. And then he loses Dennis Bermudez. I forgot about Dennis too. And then he lost to Connor. That kid was 20 years old at that time, which is wild, man.
Yeah.
Way back in 2013. And then he goes on a run. And then his run, like, look at his win streak after that Conor McGregor fight. I mean, that is a crazy win streak. Charles Oliveira, Anthony Pettis, Jose Aldo, twice, Ortega, fucking crazy. And then he fought Dustin again at lightweight. He tried to fight for the interim UFC lightweight title, but he didn't really gain weight the correct way. And he talked about that. He said he had like a little muffin top on the top of his shorts, you know. And so then loses to Volkanovski a couple of times. Beats Arnold Allen, who's really fucking good, and a lot of people still like, eh. Then he knocks out the Korean Zombie, and people are like, maybe. And then the Justin Gaethje one, people are like, oh shit, we forgot.
Man.
Max is the man.
Man,
And he's such a nice guy.
Nice
too.
guy. Great
The
dude.
nicest guy.
Great dude.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, who you think has like is the most well-rounded in MMA right now? Like is good at like 3 or more
That's
arts.
a good question. It's hard to say. You know, it's hard to say. Might be Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's not the best wrestler, but damn, his takedown defense is fucking good because he survived against Aljamain. You know, I mean, Aljamain couldn't take him down. He can knock anybody out with one shot.
Yeah.
He submitted Takanori Gomi in a jiu-jitsu match. His jiu-jitsu is real. Like, Sean can do everything. And he's just relentless, tireless worker.
He's a star.
Superstar.
Hey, how you seen those posts that what's his name? How you say his name? Mohab? What's his name? How you say his name?
Which one?
The guy I thought he was Mexican. Marab? Yeah, Marab.
Rob Davishvili?
Yeah, I thought he was Mexican when I first met him. You see his post he do about Sean O'Malley?
Oh yeah, he's trying to get him to fight him. Yeah.
But have you seen his post?
His recent ones?
Man, he got somebody that looks like Sean O'Malley. He be doing crazy shit to that motherfucker, bro. That dude was funny, bro. You know I like funny shit, man.
Yeah. Marab's funny.
Yeah.
Marab is an animal, man. What he did to Henry Cejudo, I was like, I can't even believe this is happening.
I was there.
When he carried him, when he picked him up, and then he's like stuck his tongue out, and he walked over towards where the UFC people were, and then slammed him. Slammed Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist. Who the fuck does that?
Bro, I'm conflicted for that fight because you know F3 sponsors
Look at that.
Henry, right?
That is crazy.
So
brought him over to Zuckerberg. That's right.
Bro,
I think that was that at the Apex?
no,
No,
that
that
was
was
in
at the
Anaheim.
UFC. That's
That was
right,
in Anaheim. I was there in the crowd.
I mean, then he had him in a 10-finger guillotine. Dude, Marab is a scary character because that motherfucker never gets tired.
Bro,
And his heart is crazy. Did you ever see his fight with Marlon Moraes?
no.
Marlon Moraes had him dead to rights. He had him out. I mean, he was battering him. And Marlon is the best guy who never won a title in the UFC. He was so good, but he would fold. Something would happen, he would fold up. And when he started getting KO'd a few times, it all went away. And it fell apart. He's a cop now in Florida. But Marlon, in that fight, he had Marab in all kinds of trouble. And Marab just wouldn't stop.
You got a big heart, huh?
Oh, his heart is enormous, man. He's unstoppable. Like, his mind is unstoppable. I mean, you can beat him. Ray Borg submitted him way back in the day. Got him in the guillotine. But guys, you know, he just keeps getting better too. Marab, every time he fights, he gets better.
You think he's gonna beat him? You think he'll beat him?
He's the worst matchup for Sean. The worst matchup on paper for Sean in that division is Marab. Because if you have a chance to beat Sean, how would you beat him? You got to take him down, right? I would imagine. I don't think there's anybody in that 135-pound division that can deal with that height, that length, KO power, footwork, and movement. What he did to Cheeto, I was shocked. Because the first fight, you know, Cheeto beat him. He kicked his leg, fucked him up, and got him down. But in the second fight, Cheeto didn't have a chance.
And Cheeto's a beast.
He's a beast. And he hurt him real bad in like the last couple seconds of the fight. He hit him with a liver punch. Cheeto hit him with a nasty left hook to the liver. And man, if he landed that punch early in the fight, who knows? But Sean is so good everywhere. He's so good, and you can't corner that guy. He's just moving. You know, you can't like corral him. He's just constantly like, and the consequences of moving in, and like what Aljamain did, he just got a little rushed. He rushed in on him. Got hit with that right hand.
Yeah.
You can't rush on that guy.
I wonder what Aljamain was thinking. And he said he kicked himself after that.
I think he just got he just rushed it. He just tried to close the gap. He wanted to get a hold of him, and he just tried to rush in. I think Aljamain's better at 145 anyway. I think Aljamain's so big. I was always shocked that he could make 135. He's another guy, right? He would walk around 176, 175 pounds. Like, how? How are you losing 40 fucking pounds?
I don't know how they doing this shit.
Killing themselves. That's how. Killing themselves. But when he rehydrated at 35, he was like just ripped. Just jacked, big muscles, strong as shit, and his back control is better than anybody's, man.
Yeah.
When he took Corey Sandhagen down and strangled him, I was like, oh my God. Corey's good, man.
You think Aljamain gonna make a comeback?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's gonna make a comeback
But
at 45.
at 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the champ at 45 right now?
Ilya Topuria.
Topuria.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of these new fighters.
Ilya Topuria is a monster. He's a monster. That dude's good. He's the guy who knocked out Volkanovski.
Oh yeah, I think I saw. That was the same night that Henry and fought, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ilya Topuria is a bad man.
That's him right there.
Mm-hmm. He's a bad man. He's very, very, very good. But I want to see Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. That's an interesting fight to me. If he can get past Merab.
That's his next fight, Marab.
Mm-hmm.
When is that? They already got it set.
I don't know when that is. I heard rumors that was going to be at the Sphere, which is in September. But I've also heard rumors of other fights at the Sphere.
That one's gonna sell out right away.
Fuck yeah,
man.
that one's gonna be nuts. You gotta go to that.
I want to go. I heard Dana say that he only gonna do one and done there.
Yeah, you gotta go to that one.
I would love to go to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna sell out right away. I've been trying to ask Tiki to get me tickets sometimes to help me out.
Bro, I got you.
You got me?
I got you for that. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, Rampage. You
Let me
gotta
go.
be there for that.
I would love to be there for that.
Yeah, man. You gotta be there for
Yeah,
that. The UFC doesn't hook you up with tickets?
No, you don't.
That's ridiculous. You're a former champion. You should get tickets for the rest of your fucking life. If I was running the UFC, no offense to the people that are champions, you get tickets.
You know what?
forever.
I fucked up my relationship with the UFC by doing that fucking movie over that Rashad fight.
What was the movie?
18.
Oh,
God.
that's right.
That's when I fucked up my relationship with Dana and everybody.
Mm.
But it was the hardest decision of my life. I lost money doing the movie, but I'm not really fueled by money. I'm not, I don't love money, but I always wanted to do that movie. It just came at a bad time.
The thing about doing a movie, though, is that if that takes off, then you're The Rock. Who fucking knows? You're John Cena. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have become action movie stars. Look at Randy. He did The Expendables with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, you can get a real career in the movies.
And you can't fight forever.
Right, exactly. And some certain things like that, but the UFC, they're a business.
Yeah.
The business is making fights.
I understand. I understand. I understand Dana's point. Because I didn't sign the bout agreement. That's the only thing that saved me. But it's supposed to be in my hometown. It was big. We just come up there, Ultimate Fighter. That episode, that season broke records.
Yeah.
So I understand, but it was just so hard for me to turn down that movie. And I try to keep my word. When I give my word that I'm going to do something, and I was already dedicated to that project, even when John Singleton was attached to it. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
When you were on The Ultimate Fighter with Rashad and you broke that door, I was like, they need to get new contractors. That's the cheapest fucking door I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, whether you know it or not, most doors in